Welcome to Climate Changed, a podcast from the BTS Center. Here, we ask you and our guests what it means to live, to love, and to lead in a climate-changed world. This season, we're learning from people who are reimagining what faithful, creative leadership looks like today. I'm Autumn Brown, artist, theologian, mother, and freedom worker.
And I'm Reverend Nicole Dieroff, Associate Director at the BTS Center. Together, we explore how spiritual imagination and real-world practice meet this moment of change.
In our faith communities, when we've talked about climate, we often call it eco-justice in the Episcopal world. We're usually talking about what in climate world we would call mitigation activities. Putting solar panels on, we're adding an EV charger, we're putting more insulation, like that kind of things to lessen the amount of carbon that's being emitted.
Mm-hmm.
We're not usually having adaptation conversations. Even if we stopped emitting tomorrow, the world is still different in ways that we need to figure out how to adjust to. At our best, church is a great space for imagination, moral imagination.
A world that is heating up is not that much different than the end of the last ice age. Our adaptation and our not adding to the world's suffering is called upon, or we all perish together. It's going to cause an entire reconfiguring of all things. Consciousness will need to precede the doingness, and the doingness will have to be done differently. That's what's going to need to change. That's what's going to need to change. It's going to have to break all of our theories of how things are supposed to be.
Speculative fiction opens up a lot of opportunity for us to dream about the futures that we want, as opposed to the things that we don't want. What I started to notice after managing this project is that in kind of being at Grist and reading the news every day around what's going on in the world, is that there's a lot of like what we don't want like institutions to do or what we don't want in life, but there's less of what we want to choose. What's the world that we want if we had power and control and like, through democratic means, but like if the people I have to put that in there.
Democratically, we have control.
I have to put that in there because of where we are right now.
Truly.
Speculative fiction allows people to dream and imagine and create. We in the climate space need more of that.
People are hungry, increasingly, like surprisingly hungry for connections to spirituality, for connections to culture, their own culture before it was erased or whitewashed or eaten by capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
People are hungry for connections to ancestors and for connection to the more than human world, to trees, to earth, to water, to air, to animals.
That's where the responsibility of our spiritual leaders, I think, really comes to the fore, because folks who are holding spiritual leadership roles on earth right now are among the few people who can cultivate the ground for the experience that people are longing for and actually require in order to face this time.
The trouble there is that frequently those same religious leaders, and I've worked with a lot of them, are not getting the support they need. They take on an identity, on a role that basically precludes them from asking for what they need. So they become chronic holders for others, and then they burn out, or it becomes too much over time. They're carrying their congregants' grief, their personal familial grief, cultural grief. They're carrying so much, but they're the ones who are supposed to be holding everybody else.
Wonder if you could tell a little bit of that story of why did the BTS Center start centering visioning or fiction or narrative as a part of the practice, and how could a listener potentially replicate that in their own community?
What's funny? Imagination came first. Climate change came second. So the BTS Center adopted its mission before adopting its focus on spiritual leadership for a climate-changed world. And it is actually this mission statement that made me want to work for this organization. Our mission is to catalyze spiritual imagination with enduring wisdom for transformative faith leadership. Catalyzing spiritual imagination. Of course, as you adopt a new focus as an organization, you wonder, should we update our mission statement? But actually, we felt like that mission was so right to catalyze spiritual imagination in these times. Mm-hmm. I will say a factor of that is the massive greed we encounter in the way our society organizes itself. That's a version of imagination with really disparate wealth, with greed being okay. I need to catalyze a new and different imagination that's soul focused, that's focused on our hearts and souls,